finally had a chance to do a little maintenance on the bike. So my mate Mick's kindly let me use his garage to swap over the chain. He's a fan of mountain bikes. A lot of mountain bikes. I was able to find a chain that would fit, but it was a little long, so I'd have to remove some links. While I was replacing the chain, I decided to change the oil after burning through a bit of it in the sand tracks a couple of days ago. I removed the clip and link, laid the new and old chain next to each other and counted the number of links, then removed the extra links on the new chain. Then I threaded the new chain on, grabbed the new link, greased the O-rings, put in the link, and put the plate and clip back on to secure it. Job done. I decided to take the bike for a test ride out to where my mate Mick had a cottage in the Forrest. Well, in Forrest. That's the name of the town. And yes, it's surrounded by forests. After days of temperatures over 40 degrees, all of a sudden a cold change had come in. So I pulled over to put some more warm gear on. It's very typical of southern Victoria to have a weather change almost instantly. Forrest is located in the Otway Ranges, just inland from the Great Ocean Road. You know you're in Forrest when you see the brewery. It's hard to miss. I told you Mick loves mountain bikes. They call the cottage the Rider's Palace, so if you ever want to ride, run or hike these trails, it's a great place to stay.
It's like, oh, what are you guys doing?
We are making our way to the brewery. It's like a pilgrimage if you're in Forrest. The brewery is the centre of town. They also have a cafe and a shop.
How big? Oh, sick. Easy though, just $20 for those, please. Whoa, how's that? There you go, mate. Best pour of the day.
It's a great place just to hang out after a day on the trails. Talking about trails, I'll show you what they're like. So I've just ridden down to the start of the trail that gets out to Lake Elizabeth, and I'd say it's probably one of the best trails, running trails in Australia. There are some massive ferns out here. A lot of it's covered. You end up at the lake and then do a loop around the lake and then back along here. And the whole area's got some epic trails. If you're into mountain biking, there's about, I think there'll nearly be 100 k's there soon, and just a magical part of the world. Besides the lake, there's also the stream that runs down beside the trail, and there's a couple of these ponds around as well. Just a really chilled out spot just inland from the Great Ocean Road. Trails covered with ferns like this. I headed back to Mick's place. Clear! Well, it was time to head to Geelong to get on the ferry to the magical island of Tasmania. They've recently moved the terminal in the centre of Melbourne out to Geelong. So a brand new terminal and a little easier to get to.
Your boarding number. That's your boarding pass. It's
Cool.
also your seat allocation.
Yep.
Did you want a map?
Yeah, I'll grab one. Yep.
If you head down there, see Grant that's waving the wand around.
Yep.
Tell you which lane he wants.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Stand down.
First gear.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Right.
I made my way up to where I had an allocated seat. Made it onto the boat. Seems that I'm first here on the in the lounge deck area, so sleeping upright tonight. Always fun, but gets me onto the island. This is me for the next, I think, 13 hours because the boat hasn't left yet. Still boarding. Motorbikes were the first ones on. Bonus because it was getting hot out there. This is a big ship, so they do take a lot of energy to move, and that can cause the whole ship to shake, but that's normal. Apparently. It does feel a bit strange, as if the whole ship is about to start falling apart. I watched the sun out of the back of the boat get lower and lower and lower as we headed southeast.
Follow the guy up there in yellow.
In the morning, I made my way from the car deck off the boat. I'd made it to sunny, not so sunny Tasmania. Morning. From Devonport, I headed west along the north coast. I spotted a crop that you might not think would be grown in Tasmania. So Tasmania has a lot of poppy fields and a massive facility to process it all. I think it's towards Launceston, and that's got some high security. Although they produce hard drugs, they produce a gorgeous field of white. Here in Tasmania, the poppies are harvested to make things for use in pharmaceuticals, like morphine and codeine. I continued on towards Alston. I never lived in Tasmania, but I do have family history here. I remember this place, which was my grandmother's. And I remember washing her little Mini as a kid in the same driveway. It has seen better days. There was one person still living in town, my aunt. So I dropped by and asked her about another town I was going to go through in a few days. When I got there, my aunt had just stumbled across my grandmother's school book from when she was 10 years old. One of the dates written in the book was the 29th of the 3rd, 1923. It was a 100-year-old school book. Imagine the difference from now to back then. Alright, gloves. Clear. After catching up and getting the information I needed, I headed off again. The next section of coastline is a little gem. You ride right up against the coast with the train line between you and the water. As you travel along the coast road, you come across stunning little bay after stunning little bay, and around every corner is another stunning little bay. Then I came into the town of Penguin, and yes, they have a large statue of a penguin. I've just stopped to have something to eat after going through Penguin, heading towards Stanley where there's the nut. I'll show you that soon. And this coastline is pretty insane. Just these little beaches, train line right on the beach. I don't know if you could actually get a train line closer to the water. Although this is a pretty little bay, I'm going to drop into one a bit further up the coast, which is pretty special. As I was riding along, I spotted something to my right and just had to pull over and take a photo. I love the simplicity of lines, and when you get a field of them, there's a shot to be made. I turned off the main road to go down the windy road to Boat Harbour. Boat Harbour is a stunning little bay with the whitest of sand and crystal blue clear water. Normally it isn't covered in seaweed like today, but you can see why it's such a popular place to go to the beach. Imagine your house surrounded by poppy fields. This rather large shed is at the end of the world's first slurry pipeline. The terrain was too difficult to put in a train or road to get the iron ore out from the Savage River mine. So they came up with the idea of crushing it down, adding water and pumping it the 85 kilometres, then drying it here in the shed before loading it onto ships. Quite a revolutionary idea for the 1960s. It was getting late in the afternoon, so I looked for a place to camp. I found one a bit before Stanley, just down a dirt track. So I got to the spot I could camp and it was an open field. I thought, oh yeah, that'd be okay. Set up. But as I walked out to have a look at the beach, realised there's this little sheltered spot here, so I just thought it would be better, and that was a bit lumpy over there, where here we've actually got half decent grass. Gotta love some good grass to camp on. Now that tent's all set up, I'm gonna go check out the beach, and there's a little inlet too. I was thinking about getting some photos, but there's a lot of cloud cover, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like. May as well go to find out. Already made a new friend. We might have a bit of luck here, maybe 50-50. Out to the north, we've got that cloud cover, but to the north, the last part of the horizon is blue sky. The sun's more west and there's no real gaps, but if that works out, there might be just enough gap that the sunlight comes through, hits clouds and bounces back down. Then you can get a good shot. Although the nut might also get some sun on it right at the end of the day. Gonna scope some spots out and find out if we get lucky or it's another dud. So no sky lighting up and reflecting off the clouds. It happens most of the time. You always seem to miss it. But if you're not looking, you'll never get it. So the plan for tomorrow, there really isn't one, but I'll go check out the nut, as it's called, the mountain just there on the water with the flat top, and then just get to the west coast. Unless I found a dirt trail, then I'll go down that. I got into my tent and called it a night.